Apple products. Apple is one of the largest companies in the world, being worth almost $3.5 trillion. Thankfully, Apple makes these products as well as several others for a really cheap price, is what I would say if they were not charging $25 for a polishing cloth, bro. For real? For the most part, Apple products are held to a relatively high standard, which, I mean, is expected because you're paying an insane amount of money for the majority of their products. Bro, I just bought a MacBook that's almost 4 years old, and yet I still paid over $1,000 for it. I feel like I need to clarify that I'm not just some salty Android user that always clowns on Apple for absolutely no reason. That is not me. I myself am an Apple user. I have a MacBook, I have an iPhone, I have AirPods. So I feel that I am well within my rights and I am well versed enough to actually complain about Apple for 8 minutes. But without further ado, run the intro. Oh my goodness, don't even get me yapping about these prices, bro. Here on the internet, a lot of people like to drag and dogpile on top of Apple due to their extremely high price tags for products that you can just get from other sources. For starters, let's talk about the iPhone prices. When iPhone first came out in 2007, I kind of understand why it would be so expensive because, you know, it was one of the most innovative products at the time. But come on, Apple, you gotta let it go, bro. You can't hold that price tag. That was almost 20 years ago. Like, come on, bro. Tell me why the iPhone 16 Pro Max is over a band. With that money, I can buy a gaming PC. I can buy a used car. Like, come on, bro. Buying a brand new iPhone in today's day and age is insane. I have an iPhone 13 Pro Max that I bought for $400 off of Facebook Marketplace. Bro, I ain't paying full price for this thing. I feel it's necessary that we talk about other products that they've released, like the Apple Vision Pro, which, by the way, is just an objectively worse version of the Meta Quest. At launch, costed over $3,500. Why would you buy a VR headset that costs the same amount as a used Honda Civic when you can just buy a Meta Quest for literally 10% of the price? Now listen, I'm not somebody who wants to suck on Zuck. Yo, pause. But like, can we as a society just admit that the Apple Vision Pro was just a giant money laundering scheme? Because bro, it is well known that the quality of this product just sucked. The amount of times I would go on the subway in New York and see people wearing these Apple Vision Pro scuba goggle looking things, it's absolutely ridiculous. Also, little side tangent, if you're that rich that you can afford those things, bro, why on earth are you taking the subway? That smells like pee. Perhaps I am being a little unfair though. It's not like Apple doesn't have any good products. Like I did mention, I do really like my iPhone. I also have a MacBook. It's the M1 model or something. I use it to edit some videos, as well as AirPods. I have AirPod Pros and I have AirPod Maxes. AirPod Pros are ridiculously expensive and AirPod Maxes are almost $500, bro. If you think I paid full price for these, absolutely not. I was scrolling on Amazon one day and I saw that they were on sale for $200. That's over 50% off. If you're ever looking to buy AirPod Maxes, don't ever buy them at full price. It's not worth it. But if they're on sale for like the price that I found them at, 100% get them. They're really good. They do kind of look like alien UFOs on each of your ears though, so that's something that may drive you away from it. The AirPod Pros are also really good. In fact, this is the first pair of AirPods that I bought that weren't fake $20 ones from China. The quality of fake ones honestly were pretty good, but once I went to the real ones, you know, I couldn't go back to it. The sound quality really is that big of a difference. Anyways, I've ranted about the prices for long enough, so let's move on to something else. Like I just complained about, Apple's quite expensive, and about 10 years ago, yeah, that would be earned because every single new Apple product or iPhone that would release, something new would change. There would be a completely different upgrade that would boost it into the stratosphere. But nowadays, with the amount of, or rather lack thereof, changes we're getting, I still don't understand why they are releasing a new iPhone every single year like they do with Call of Duty. There is nothing that ever changes in between phone models. The world is not going to stop spinning if they skip out on one single iPhone release, bro. And come on, what changes do they even add? Oh, the camera positioning? Oh, thank God they changed the position of the iPhone camera because, man, if it weren't for that, I think North Korea would have just gone apeshit. Yeah, literally nobody is f***ing thinking that, except for maybe the diehard Apple bros on r/Apple. The way that these Redditors act when it comes to a new Apple release is ridiculous, especially when it comes to iPhones. It doesn't matter how minimal the changes, you can always count on these people to buy the new iPhone model. You remember Apple's $3.5 trillion worth? Yeah, 95% of it are these f***ing Redditors, bro. The iPhone is so slow when it comes to actual technical updates. When the iPhone 15 came out in 2022, that was the first model where they implemented USB-C charging. Hey, guess what? Literally every other phone started doing that like 7 years ago. Get with the program. The thing is, it's not that Apple didn't have the technology or the money to do so. No, they very well knew how to. They just want to keep people within their little bubble. And while we're already on this topic, I feel it's necessary to talk about the text bubbles. Oh my god, why are Android group chats green? Oh, I know why. Maybe because Apple's a selfish company who just wants people to feel left out in order to hope that they buy into their products. Yeah, that makes a little more sense, doesn't it? What has my personal experience with Apple been? Well, the first iPhone that I ever got was an iPhone SE. Up until this point, I had been with Android for my entire life, so this was my first time ever getting to know the Apple ecosystem and start using iOS. My thoughts were, I thought it was a pretty good phone. I liked it. I wasn't a big fan of how tiny the screen was. Bro, no joke, my index finger was larger than the screen of that phone. Eventually, I upgraded to the iPhone 6, and real quick, I feel like it's necessary to mention that the first two phones I had been given, the iPhone SE and the iPhone 6, were actually given to me by my uncle. So I wasn't paying any money on these devices because they were gifted to me. Let me tell you, man, I used that iPhone 6 like there was no tomorrow. I used it until it was practically unusable anymore. I remember I wasn't even able to charge it at one point because within 25 minutes, it would actually start burning my hand if I went to touch it. After this, I'm preparing to buy my first iPhone. I knew that they were expensive, but I didn't know an exact price range. I'm a 16-year-old. I just got my first retail job, so I go to my local T-Mobile expecting to drop no more than $300. Like, it can't be more than $300, right? $700. $700 for the base iPhone 11. For someone who was 16 at the time, that was an insane amount of money, and it still is. That's cheap compared to right now. Currently, the brand new base model of the iPhone 16 cost $800. I ended up financing my iPhone 11. It lasted me forever. I loved that phone. Unfortunately, I did break it like a month after my financing plan was over, so I ended up needing to buy a new one, which is the one I still have to this day, and it's the iPhone 13 Pro Max. I love this phone. I truly don't plan on getting rid of it anytime soon. I'm willing to bet this phone still has another 3-4 years of life left in it. It's really good. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed listening to me rant about Apple for a solid 8 minutes. I had a lot of fun making this video. Let me know if you want to hear something similar, like with Nintendo or something. But yeah, that's about it. Thank you guys so much for watching. I love you all. And to all my lovely subscribers, Bum, ba, bum, 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 oh, the weather outside is frightful, but the fire is so delightful. And since we've no place to go, let it snow, let it snow, let it snow.